Hello everyone. It's Wednesday the 24th of November. The time is 2:51 p.m. It's already getting dark. The sun has, I think, set. And the temperature is -4 degrees. It seems like it's very soon going to start snowing again. We might not see that today though. I think there's a little bit time to go and it will get dark before that happens. And as you see, we are in Finland in very wintry conditions with lots of snow here. We're near a town called Sonkajärvi and we're by a countryside place where I've been coming to basically since I was a kid for summers and for also winter time skiing, things like that. So a very familiar and important place for me, but we are not sort of in a city anywhere. As you can see, we're in the countryside. Let me just jump over to that side too. I think there's some kind of animal has gone through here. Don't know who it was. But we are definitely in kind of a deep snow right now. These are my footprints here. It's getting darker as well. So over there is the field where they used to have cows over there in the summer. So it's very much countryside farm place. The neighbors used to have cows as well. And what we're going to do today is very different from usual. So I'm actually going to walk to the road and then walk a little bit into the forest. The surrounding area here is these forests and fields now covered in snow. And I guess for most Finns it's quite natural to do something like that and be around forest scenes and in the nature. But I thought it's a really nice winter day and there's still some light left. And while we have that, I'm going to make my way over and just kind of walk into that or through that familiar path there to have a look. It does get dark pretty quickly around this time. So we won't be too long. But although the forests do have, of course, some animals, they will stay away from someone like me talking to myself. So it's mostly just looking at the trees and looking at the landscape around here, which I think is fairly special. It's kind of a place where the neighbors usually are some kilometers away. So everyone will pretty much know each other. But you do have to have a car to get around. Or it's very difficult if you don't. I think there's been a rabbit there. You can see all of these footprints in the snow. So I remember this is not such a steep hill, but when I was a kid it used to feel like that. That's where I learned to ski downhill. I think I used to sing when I did it as well. So this is the path I was thinking of taking. So I'll go a little bit at least. It's obviously just fresh snow. No one's been here other than maybe some animals since it snowed. So we'll see how far I go before it gets a bit too dark for me. But yeah, definitely can see it's fairly deep snow right now. Nothing too bad for around here. It does get a lot deeper. We're getting snow tonight, I think, and tomorrow. So if you're wondering about it, in Finland, we kind of see the forests as, and nature in general as something everyone has a kind of a right to enjoy. So we have something called everyman's rights or everyone's rights, where anyone can go and pick berries or mushrooms from the forest. And people generally have summer cottages. A lot of people at least visit a summer cottage if they like it. Not everyone likes it. They're usually by the lake. And then sometimes in winters, people have cottages where they go during the winter as well. So a lot of people in Finland are fairly used to going out to places like this. Look at these trees, they're so beautiful. Just really like being around here and usually not talking to anyone. But of course I brought you guys along today. And in here you often see footprints of elks or mooses, depending on where you're from. And well, bears are hibernating, so no worries of that. A few winters ago, I think we saw some footprints of a wolf, but they also don't really care for people. There are foxes. Neighbor's dog tends to come this way with him, so you know. But it's just beautiful here. Of course, when I say that, there's also this old thing left here just to be destroyed, I guess. So I think it's about ankle deep, the snow at the moment. We've gone through there. And then of course you have small animals like rabbits and such. But they all disappear in here pretty well. And they definitely will try to stay away from people as much as they can. If you're not used to this kind of a snowy winter landscape, I think it is quite fun to see. I mean, something very special that I miss when I'm away. So I thought I'd bring you along, even though this is a very different walk from the usual. It's a pretty beautiful place to be, just with your own thoughts as well. So I won't blame you if you just want to switch off my narration and put on some music. But it's not what I do. So we're going to get some more snow in the next few days. And then it might even get a bit difficult to come out here. Look at these trees. Just covered in snow. So I thought this would be a good time to come and visit, have a look around. So beautiful and so quiet. So I think there is some snow falling now as well, but I doubt it will be enough to show up on the camera. So I was talking about the rights everyone has to enjoy these forests. It doesn't mean you can go onto private property, of course. And you cannot take any of the trees. So if you find your perfect Christmas tree here, you cannot take it. So it's just something to be mindful of. Just the berries and mushrooms and such, which you of course don't have in the winter. It's really beautiful here. And these trees also grow to be quite massive. I'm actually not walking on someone else's path either, so like I said, somewhere I've been quite a few times in my life. Even I cannot say helped with any of it, but seen some of the trees being planted and such, which is quite cool. I think a mouse has been here. It's very small footprints. So if you've never walked in snow like this, it's much heavier, of course, because you kind of make up the path as you go. But there's also a very nice feel, and maybe you can hear the sound. And I think that's something you don't often get with snow in the city. Or these amazing trees with the snow just kind of decorating everything here. It's just so beautiful. And bearing in mind as well, we're not in the northernmost part of Finland or anything. This is sort of in the middle of the country. And also, I guess I should say, if I'm showing something like this, if you do go out, please tell someone you're going and where you're going. Like, I'm not just completely alone here. Well, I'm alone here, but not. People know where I am, where to find me. So, kind of made it my way to a very familiar place opening here in the forest. I'm just going to shut up for a minute and let you listen to how quiet it is here. And instead of going further into the forest there, it kind of starts a new stretch along there. I'm going to make my way back, and we're going to see the same winter scenes before it gets dark. And yeah, that seems like the sensible thing to me. Another thing is that it's not like the city, whether I walk the same path. It's kind of irrelevant, it's all similar forest. But that's the beauty of it too. It doesn't seem many animals have had the chance to walk through the snow yet. It's mostly just me. I find it kind of a nice thought that up and down the country there are quiet forests like this one, and they're just always there. This is quite pretty. You can see it's not sort of much into the winter yet, because there's still things around that will soon disappear under the layers of snow. But I think it's cold enough now, as the temperature is dropping, that this is sort of a snow that's arrived for the winter. It's not going to melt away. I like to look into the forest from the path and just see it goes on and on. When I was leaving for this walk, I was thinking about mentioning the cows the neighbors used to have. And I remember this story of how the cows and the bull used to run away from the next door neighbors. And I was quite small, and they used to come and I think eat the potatoes or something that were growing on the field. And my father was telling me not to run, just calmly go to the house because the bull was there, and he was worried it would chase me. You can imagine what I did as a child. It all turned out okay. But it's fun memories to have when you're sort of in the middle of London or in Singapore, kind of to remind yourself sometimes that these forests are here and those memories exist. And I'm sure everyone has something like that. But it's also why I find it really difficult to be away during Christmas time. Just look at this for a winter view. There are a lot of things that people come to see in Finland. Santa Claus, Northern Lights, things like that. But this is kind of one of the ones that you can almost guarantee there's going to be snow if you go a little bit further than Helsinki before Christmas, and then anywhere really a bit further into the winter. It's getting a bit darker now, but just making sure we catch the last few views before I get back to the road. I think this is going to be something I'm going to love to watch later on as well. It's not always about getting the maximum amount of viewers. Sometimes it's recording something for yourself and for the few people who kind of get it, and then there's no shame, you want them to watch city views. I like them too. Here we are emerging from this winter wonderland. So beautiful. So here we are, back at the main road, if you can call it that. There's more of the forest, as you can see, not just here, but this path is quite familiar to me, and that's someone in my family starting the tractor to get rid of some of the snow. It's a pretty amazing thing to have all of this here. And I hope we can keep it going. Not me only, but everyone. And these type of roads just go on with a little red or yellow house dotted every now and again into the landscape, but mostly some old houses dying, some houses being lived in. I think the next one from here is behind the bend and then a bit further on. Driving is pretty much a necessity around here nowadays. There's no supermarket, but there is a forest. And the trade-off, in a way, is that you know your neighbors. Many of them have been here for a very long time. So there you go, the next buildings are there. So you're not completely alone, but there's a lot of space to build new houses or anything really. So Finland is a really big country with not that many people. So there we go. I'm going to head back towards the house before it gets dark. I think it's only just past 3. But it does get dark pretty quickly. And it's supposed to snow as well. So it's just a little bit of a look into what this country is about. If you really think about it, the cities are great. Of Helsinki, of Tampere, Turku is great as well. But you have to kind of acknowledge that most of it is forest, lakes, fields. And I love that as well. And I don't know why we shouldn't kind of embrace it and be really, really happy it's here, with so many places losing all of their nature and connection with it as well. And then of course there's the snow and the winter views, which I think most people can relate to and find nice. For me it's really easy to like all of this as well, because I no longer have to go to work or school with my eyelashes frozen together when it's minus 25 or something like that. It's ridiculous. So it's easy for me to come here and be all happy about snow. Luckily Finns don't complain that much. They're quite quiet. So thanks so much for joining me. It's another one of those trips to the past in a way, but also winter landscape. And really kind of magical forest that I think you don't find all over the world. So it's nice for me to share it. I think tomorrow we'll be back walking city streets, although not ones I've covered before. So I hope you enjoyed this winter landscape. Thanks for joining me today. If you'd like to see more videos from Finland for a while, and then maybe from Singapore as well, where I normally walk and record these walks, please consider subscribing to the channel if you'd like to do it. Don't do it otherwise. And you'll be notified when there are new videos on the channel. So thanks everyone with these interviews, and hopefully soon the glow of the windows looking very warm in the house. I hope I'll see you again soon.